Good morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Niraj Shah. It's Monday morning and it promises to be a start which is actually in favor of the bulls. So let's tell you all just a bit of a recap, really a short recap of what's happened in the world markets and what the SGX is doing, because they'll give us some indication of where we are likely to start off. So, well, specific stocks did what they did in the US markets and some bumper moves in Friday's session as well for key names. But the US markets on the whole have not left us with very bad cues. So you have to bear that at the back of your mind. Look at this move that was there in Friday's session. Excuse me, and some upsides there, which the US markets clocked in. Now, maybe as a result of that, or just the general uh, bullishness in terms of money flows, because the FI money continues to pump in into emerging markets at large. So Asia, by and large, seems to be doing okay, and the SGX Nifty 2 indicates a start, which could be marginally in the green. The last time I checked, I think about 30, 40 odd points. Look at that. I mean, 1.5% for HSI. Kospi is trading in the green. And the SGX Nifty, as I said, indicates a start which is marginally in the green, which is not bad considering the trade, uh, kind of moves that we made the whole of last week. Even though the better part of the moves happened at the beginning of the week and the end of the week, we kind of stabilized. But you have to admit that okay, yeah, this is what the SGX is showing. Of course, by the way, 1/3%, so that is good news. But hey, look at the trade setup, right? Yes, by virtue of the close that we had on Friday, we had the highest weekly closing since February 20th, 2020. So that's the kind of move that we've put up behind us and all of last week too. I think the mid caps are rallying strongly to any kind of news developments, bulk deals, what have you. You hear a news about a mid cap stock, whether it's fundraising, restructuring, bulk deal, and the stocks move up, and that's a telltale sign of euphoria. Now, usually euphoria ends pretty poorly, but hey, while the party is on, I don't think people would want to be left out. So that's the key thing. I think what should be watched out for is the pullback in the dollar index. Now, remember, the dollar index has corrected quite a bit, and I think we are seeing the signs of the dollar index starting to inch up again. And if that continues, then that puts a bit of risk off on the table, and therefore profit booking might become the order of the day as well. So while you're trading on the long side, if you are trading on the long side, most people actually are long only traders. Very few people manage to short very well. So if you're longing or if you're on the long side, just might be mindful of this dollar index move that all of us have to keep an eye out for. I don't know if we have this weekly chart or not, but there's this nifty weekly chart. Even if we don't have it, I urge all of you to go onto our website. Yeah, this is what the nifty weekly chart looks like, and therefore you will see these upsides. And I would urge you to log on to our website, BloombergQuint.com, and look at the story that we put out about what technicals tell us about the index. And there's this pattern, this wedge pattern, wherein it shows that we are near a point of resistance. So you have to be mindful of all of those things as well, even if you are on the long side. Now, the stocks to watch out for, and I think it'll take some time, so I'm quickly getting on to that. There are three or four things that all of us need to keenly watch out for. First, and these almost became the stocks of the day, but I don't quite have a handle of what Airtel and Jio could do. Prima facie, it seems that both of these, Bharti Airtel and Reliance Industries, could have a bit of an impact, because I think one key thing out of the whole judgment, or it's not judgment as yet, the observations that Supreme Court put out was that spectrum users will have to pay the EGR dues of the ailing telecom operators. Now, this is a big thing because Aircel and Videocon dues, which Bharti Airtel uses, and Reliance Communication dues, which Reliance Jio uses, if indeed the statement and the nature moves in this fashion and gets passed, then it will be a negative for both Reliance as well as Bharti Airtel. In fact, for the first time, the court verdict or the way the proceedings are moving seems to throw up a bit of a surprise for Jio. But keep in mind there are a lot of variables here, so don't try and preempt, because one, um, Jio has been in spectrum sharing and technically therefore might not be liable to pay. Airtel might have a liability of Videocon to pay, if at all. And again, this is prima facie. I'm not a legal expert, so I don't quite know. But as far as Aircel goes, They've only taken 30% of the spectrum, and that spectrum did not generate revenue in the past. So Airtel will ask, how is it that it's supposed to pay dues on spectrum which did not generate any kind of revenue? So be mindful that there is a lot behind this. The best of the guys that I speak to don't have a complete handle on what this would mean. So please be very careful if you're trading Airtel and Jio. Uh, the market is looking good, but I dare say there might be a bit of a tepid start for the telcos today. Z Entertainment, it came off a bit in Friday's session, but on August 19th, Manish Chokhani, the big name in his own voice, and is an independent director on Z Entertainment, bought about 1 lakh shares. It's not a very large amount, by the way. Even if you take into account a price of 200, it's not a very large sum bought, but the name is interesting. Manish Chokhani, he already had a lakh shares, and he's bought a lakh shares more. Let's see if that gets the entertainment in focus today. I think the Morgan Stanley note on Indian steel is very, very interesting. We've been writing about it now. I wrote a piece in May, and Nikki wrote a piece last August, a couple of weeks back. But look at this. They are saying that they expect the price hikes to be sticky. They see potential for profitability to hit the previous peaks over the coming quarters. They believe quarter one formed the bottom of the cycle for profitability. I'm reading it out. Bottom of the cycle for profitability. They expect a sharp rebound in profitability in quarter two, and they've raised the EBITDA forecast for FY21 for steel companies by 13 to 16%, and FY22 EBITDA forecast by 8 to 21%. So essentially, the price hikes will have a bit of an impact on the EBITDA because of the operating leverage, and that's what Morgan Stanley seems to be suggesting. And they've raised the target prices for two names at least in a big way. Tata Steel, the overweight rating has been maintained. The price target has been raised to 565. JSPL overweight rating maintained. Target price raised to 280. JSW Steel, the equal weight rating has been maintained. The price target has been raised to 320 from 232. But these are steep hikes. Yours, keep that at the back of your mind. So if the steel stocks react today, you know why they are doing so. They've maintained the underweight on sale. I haven't put that out. They've maintained their underweight on sale. So that's something you need to monitor. But steel could well be the sector of the day today. They've been doing reasonably well for the past few days, as I said. We wrote about it a couple of times. Urge you to log on to BloombergQuint and try and read that too. But these are interesting stocks for the session today. And I'll watch out for PNB and Dixon too, as well as ICICI Lombard, by the way. ICICI Lombard, I don't know if it's a stock moving piece, but PNB brokerages have maintained their underweight rating. They're saying that SBI and BOB are better names. So maybe PNB goes down today. Dixon has announced the intention to raise 200 crores. That could be a stock focus today. So do watch out for all of these. What stood out as I wrap up today's trade setup, what Kotak Bank is saying to Goldman Sachs, it's from a report of Goldman Sachs, and they are saying that the macro impact has been contained better than expectations. The restructuring guidelines are better designed there before, and they believe that they are well poised to gain market share across businesses while maintaining returns. And therefore, it's a very interesting confidence statement put out by Kotak Bank. Maybe some of the larger banks will continue to do well. I think a lot of people have been saying that the well-focused, high CASA, better managed banks would do well and gain market share. Maybe that theory, in terms of what managements are saying, might also turn out to be true. So be watchful of that. Banks may have iffy times, but some of the well-managed banks could actually do well. So be mindful of that as well. Anyways, have a good profitable day ahead. Watch out for Z, watch out for telcos, watch out for steel in particular. All of these very interestingly poised from trading moves in today's session. Have a great day ahead.